This is, you know, probably a late video response to the, you know, to the whole Trey Martin thing. It's gotten pretty big, and unless you've been living under a stone for the last couple of weeks, last week or so, you probably have already heard about this this whole situation with Trey Martin. Here's what I, you know, come up with, you know, because it seems to me that the facts are constantly changing by the day. This young man lost his life. You know, there was it looks to be a scandal involved. You know, but the people die all the time. Okay, every day, in fact. You know, in the hood. You know, I think it was just a few weeks ago I was laying in my bed, you know, because I live in a pretty rough area, you know, and I heard pop, 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 pop. Pause. Pop, 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 and then I hear, you know, of course, what's next? You know, it's 15 minutes later, it's woo, 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 you know, they're hauling ass. And, you know, then, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, you know, probably look like a piece of Swiss cheese. You know, after all of that, but you know, they barely made local, you know, local news, and you know, here's this situation. It's probably a black guy killed another black guy, you know, over drugs or something. Well, that is what it was, okay. But you know, here's the thing: you know, this whole, you know, scandal with this Trey Martin here. You know, the idea is that, you know, we've got the NAACPs involved, and you know, they're all screaming. You know, some form of injustice or some form of racism against a minority. You know, first of all, I don't like how, you know, what the media is doing is that, you know, when I walk down the street now, it seems like, you know, I'm looking at, you know, African Americans are staring at me, and it's almost like, you did it, you know, it's you, you're the one, you shot Trey, you shot little baby boy. You know, I'm not cool with that. You know, I want to get a T-shirt. I think it's going to say, I didn't shoot Trey. This guy did, and it's going to be a picture of George Zimmerman. The guy's not white. Okay, can we get that straight? Okay, no matter what happened, okay, that guy that shot this man was not white. That's the first thing. The second thing is, number one, I didn't shoot the guy, and you know, if I had, I'm sure that it would be completely, they would have sent information to the moon or something over this, you know, injustice, but I didn't do it, and it's a train, yeah. Right when I'm doing a video, a train goes by. You know, I try to find peaceful places because it's important to my serenity to find a spot that's quiet and peaceful to do a video, and you know, I try to get, you know, reflective of what I'm trying to talk about. I entitled this video, you know, Trey Martin and the situation with the equality and the big lie of the whole thing. You know, George Zimmerman, you know, was hit. From my understanding, he was spotted someone that would look suspicious with a hood on, and he called the police. You know, he did the first thing, he called, you know, the police, and the police said, you know, well, hold on, you know, until we get there, or just stay out of it, or whatever. And for whatever reasons, he went in and confronted Trey. Trey's walking around with his hood up. It's a dark night, you know, it's raining and stuff, and he's walking around aimlessly. The area had already had problems. There was reasons to watch the area, and you know, he confronted him, and apparently Trey didn't like that, and he went back to his car. He was assaulted, and then there was the infamous 911 call. You know, there's the you hear the you know, the screaming for help, you know, and you know, and the idea is that somehow, you know, Trey was the victim in the whole thing. From what I see from this, that, you know, and let's look at this respectfully and try to keep an open mind. First of all, why is the media drumming up a situation that shouldn't have went no further than the local news? Okay, that's as far as that should have went. Okay, because number one, I don't think it merits this much attention. You know, they said, you know, they're showing these pictures, you know, of him, obviously, it's like a little kid or something, okay? Do you know what I mean? That's what they're showing. And the idea behind it is, I think that they're just trying to be, garner as much sympathy on this as they can. I don't understand why that's going on, and I definitely don't understand why President Barack Obama, Mr. Barry Obama, has to come on and give an announcement that, well, if I had had a son, he would have looked just like Trey. It's almost like he's basically cast his lot in on this too, and I just think to myself, with the economy in crisis the way that it is, can this be any more than just basically the media being the little social antagonists that they are when we're already hurting and having trouble, and now here they're going to just drum up some kind of crazy situation that looks like it could probably get enough attention and enough bad press and stuff to just turn into like some kind of full-blown riot, in the middle of everything else we've got going on. And there's not even been a judge or a jury. I mean, the media's pretty much already just decided that what they believe about the whole situation. So, I think that, if there are more victims of this media doing this, like say real victims, like people being hurt as a result of the media's antagonistic nature, I think they should be held accountable for something. I think people should say, we need to get in here and kind of look at how the media is being used to, inflame society against one another. And was it Charles Manson? I think he never killed anybody, right? He never did kill anybody. He just told people to go and do it, or he just provided the information for them to go and do it, and the mentality to go and do it, and they did it. But they tried him and convicted him and put him in jail based on that. So I mean, it should be applicable. It should be the same kind of concept with the media that stirs people on in this way. Secondly, especially with Barack Obama, I mean, coming up and saying, what he says, if this was my son, he would look like Trey. I mean, that is just outrageous. Okay, that the President of the United States would get involved in something that's not even been tried in court and voice an opinion in defense of the whole thing without even having the entire facts, which are changing constantly. And jumping in, you have to look at this and just say, how am I being manipulated? How am I being manipulated here? What's racist here? What's happened? This was a Cuban guy, a Hispanic guy, George Zimmerman, that shot this guy, number one. Number two, it does look like it was self-defense. And, the facts are continually changing. We don't have the entire facts. They're changing in defense of Zimmerman, and then they might come in and say, well, he doesn't have a gash in the back of his head. He wasn't really assaulted or whatever. And they're changing the thing around all the time. And I just don't think that people should have to put up with that when they're already struggling week to week to pay for their bills that are, all the stuff they've got to handle. That's going to be about as far as I'm going to say on the whole thing. I think that it has the potential to turn into something like Rodney King. Clearly, this is what is that whole court hearing with Rodney King, and the media drumming that up turned into the LA riots. And there were innocent victims. Rodney King did settle out of court. He did get the $1 million or whatever they gave him. And in my opinion, that was probably a little bit different than this is. But and I definitely don't think this merits as much attention as it's getting. On to equality and the big deception of equality. Nothing is equal in life. I think right now you have people saying, well, if you're just good enough, if you try really hard and you work really hard at something, you will be equal. Women are told they can do everything a man can do. We're told when we look at people, there's no difference other than the color of skin. It's not this, the noses are different and the hair texture is different between blacks and whites. And Asians, clearly, it's just the way they look. We're all the same. We're all completely the same. Never mind culture and heritage and the fact that people have created civilizations based on race, but we're all the same, and if we're all just given a chance, well, then we will all do very well. This is not true. Okay, that's a Marxist theology that likes to say there's no such thing as gender or race or anything, and everybody's completely equal. But see, what flies in the face of that kind of thinking is nature itself isn't equal. You know, a lion's not going to look